So, having finished building a belt sander, I decided the next logical thing to do would be to build a liquor cabinet. So, I'm going straight to find furniture from a fairly failed tool build. These are my sketches and my cut list, and here is the wood I purchased. It's all cherry, nicely highly figured. You can get a good sense of the boards here. These were all somewhat consecutive passes. It may be difficult to tell from the differing grain there, but they are actually all from the same tree as far as I could tell. Here I was smoothing off the big piece that I had grabbed for the legs and hand cutting it. And having done that once, I did not want to do that again. So I got that done, and a neighbor had gifted me with a shop vac and a Craftsman bandsaw, and here, sped up at 2 times normal speed, is my incredible slow first cut on this bandsaw, taking this piece off. At this point, I'm really not sure why I'm moving so slowly. At this point, this would have already been done if I was doing it today. But this is back in April of 2016, and I think this was probably one of the very first cuts I've ever made on the bandsaw after getting it working and replacing the blade. And I know it's hard to imagine, but this is actually double speed, so I'm creeping along. I also don't think that my safety was all that great. I'm wearing some safety glasses, but you'll see at the end here, I actually put my arm on the inside through the arm of the bandsaw to support the offcut. I should have moved around to the other side to support it from the back and pulled it through that way. So definitely not a safety genius here. I am pulling and not pushing into the blade, but you can see my other hand is actually inside of the blade, which is definitely not Safety 101. And yes, this cut is still going on at double speed, and finally we finish it up. And there are the two pieces. And here you can actually see them planed up and smoothed out. Got that all set. Alright, so at this point I've smoothed out the top as a reference. This should be perfectly plain at this point. And we're going to measure out 1 3/4 down so that we can then bandsaw off this piece. And we have our other 3 legs over there. That broken piece is going to be on the inside. They're all set to go. This was my failed piece there. Wasn't able to get that one square. So here we go. We're going to scribe that line with a pencil and then take it over the bandsaw. Okay, now we're done with the bandsaw. And it's time to get this side plane again. So we're going to grab our jack plane and get to work. And the 4 legs are done. All finished, all squared up. Ready for some mitering. That is going to go to the inside. In the last bit, every time I said plane, please substitute flat in your head. Here are all my cuts ready to be sized properly. Okay, I wanted to capture what I was doing, probably because I'm doing it wrong, but I'm dimensioning this wood here. First, I'm going to use my smoothing plane and my jack plane to get this even. And then I'm going to take it over the bandsaw and cut off the last 2 inches that I need to make more of these. And this is the outside of the door. Alright, so gonna go ahead and put this here, and we'll switch to time lapse and see if I'm doing this in a completely idiotic manner or not. It's fairly hard to see my technique because I'm moving so quickly here, but you can see that I'm stopping intermittently and checking for square as well as checking for flatness and moving back and forth between the planes, although I think here I'm just using my smoothing plane. Oh, there I picked up the low angle.
And here, for some reason, I did this in slow motion. I have no idea why, but one thing you'll notice is that in slow motion on this cut, I'm moving as fast or faster than I did in the cut that I first started out with when I was in double time. One of the things you'll also see is that I had a board set up as an auxiliary fence to help me get consistent cuts, which really helped out a lot. I think that's enough of this. You get the idea. I would like you to notice, though, that my safety at the end of the cut is much improved here, and that I've figured out not to put my arms through the arm of the bandsaw.
Okay, so I've got the bandsaw blade edges in here, and I'm going to take them off. First thing I'm going to do is mark 2 inches.
And actually, I marked where the grain direction is, so actually I have to mark on this side. And since I started on this side, I'll go ahead and finish this. So I have both reference edges look here. See if I'm fairly flush. Hoping in square off the board. Because this plane here is already square.
So in fast speed, here I am planing off the bandsaw marks and making everything nice and flat and straight and square. You'll see me stopping frequently to check square and check flatness on both sides. As you can see, there were bandsaw marks both sides. I'm using my low angle plane and my smoothing plane, which is a number 5, somewhat interchangeably at this point. They're both set up fairly similar. I was trying to figure out which I liked the best. And once that was finished, we had everything set up for the door panels. There was a nice panel and the side rails. The panel wasn't quite big enough, and I had to glue on an additional piece. You can see my makeshift winding sticks on the board, trying to get it nice and smooth prior to continuing.